Well, we lost that now. Okay, hopefully that got it. Sorry about that. I'm having a heck of a time here. And testing 1, 2. Can you guys hear me? Let's see here. We got audio. Looks like we got audio. Alright. Had a quick blip. Got it, it's the Democrats, yeah. No doubt. Can you guys hear me? Can you hear now? Let's see what's going on here. We got to pull this up. I think we got it. You know, it looks like it's not clipping. The audio is definitely working. Okay, great. Sorry about the faux pas, but man, the internet's been acting really goofy today. I think it's because everything's iced over and we're kind of stuck. Well, anyway, let me just get back to what I was talking about. If you listen to this, you can hear that it's rough. I don't know if you guys can hear that or not. Let me know. Can you hear that noise? Sounds like I'm sanding with my fingers. We got to get that out. In order to do that, we got to use the sandpaper. Now, as I stated before the thing about sound came on, you can use 1500, 2000, or 1000, 1500, 2000. That's kind of up to your discretion. Remember, what the sandpaper is for is to move material. So if you got big rock boulders, shit, you might go down to 600. You know, whatever it takes to flatten the thing out. But remember, when you sand it with 600, you're removing a ton of material. So I suggest when you're at a state like this, you don't want to start with anything coarser than 1500. I use 2000 because I don't mind sanding. So if you listen, you can hear it. It sounds like we're sanding. Well, we want to make that go away. I'm going to try to stay off these ink lines because I don't have a lot of clear on this. And I've already sanded an ink line off that I'm going to have to repair. But you keep sanding until the noise goes away. That means you got it smooth. Using my foam block. And flooded with Windex. This process, you got to really love sanding. If you build model airplanes to any any kind of quality, you're gonna have to love sanding. It is a zen. You know, it's very relaxing to me. I have to deal with idiots all day long, and when I'm by myself sanding, it's, I don't know. Even when I was in the motorcycle business, I especially like sanding. At the end of a day, dealing with where's my bike, this was really relaxing to me. Now I'm supposed to have a internet guy swing by here between 5 and 6. I don't think we'll be on that long. I just wanted to let you know that it wasn't me, it was the damn internet. Now you think, well, hell, I've just ruined my airplane. Well, not really. We're going to have to do the pre-flight bench trimming on this too. Glue the flaps on, get them all lined up. I still need to install the fuel inlet and the muffler pressure spigot. But that's the same thing. It's the same 1/8" tubing that faces forward. Okay, so let's wipe it off and show you how much it dulled out. And you'll think, well, terrible, it's ruined. It's not. The shine comes from this sanding right here. You see here, it's getting slicker and slicker. Be very careful on the cap strips. You can sand right through the paper. Okay, let's wipe it off. See what we got. You guys make sure to like, subscribe, and share. The channel is growing. It's growing slow, but it is growing. We'll give it a second to dry out, and you'll see how dull it got. You know, John and I were talking yesterday after I finished clearing it, and we both agreed. Most guys would say, well, that's good enough, and go fly it. And he's probably correct. We're probably correct. Now, in order to do this and get a finish like Wendy's, you have to put paint on, lots of paint. And the more paint that you put, of course, Wendy he did sand, but the more paint you put on, the heavier the airplane's going to be. It's the heaviest single thing on the airplane besides the engine. And you wouldn't think so, but trust me, it's what it is. This finish is about 7 ounces. Ended up at 42 ounces. A little over what I wanted, but I ordered a Hobby King carbon fiber spinner. Try to get that weight off the nose, because I did sacrifice 2 ounces in the engine. So go back the other way with the carbon fiber spinner. and try to get the weight off that way. Normally I don't build airplanes with pilots because the pilots do weigh a bit, normally half an ounce. This one here is a custom carved pilot by Tom Looper that weighs 2/10. It's a balsa wood. And that's the reason that his name is on my airplane. Nice guy. Good builder too. Okay, when you look at it, candle it, you can see the shiny spots. The shiny spots are the low spots. You want to keep sanding until them shiny spots go away. Wendy did a pretty nice tutorial video on what you're trying to achieve with the hills and valleys. Of painting, and that's why you really need to sand between each coat. Now I didn't much on this because John and I haven't been putting any paint on. There's only 1 quart of clear dope on this whole airplane. That includes the substrate and the top coat. 1/2 pint of red. A little bit of gold out of an AutoZone spray can. This gold is Color Match Duplicolor Gold acrylic enamel, or acrylic lacquer, excuse me. You can use it. I would have rather had dope, but there's no chance. There was no way I was going to get dope in Dayton in gold tone. Now, had I been in St. Louis, I'd have drove over to Wicks and picked some up. Okay, we're kind of dull here. Now I use a varying bits of doodads to polish. Happened to be in AutoZone or Walmart walking down the aisle, and I saw a closeout. Now these aren't work tools, but I saw a closeout for the Hyper Tough combo. It had an impact, a drill, a sawzall, and a flashlight, plus 2 batteries for $40, 20 volt. You can't beat that. So we're cheating a little bit on elbow grease. Normally I hand rub these, but power tools is always good. Remember, I use Finesse-It. I think Finesse-It has some petroleum products in it because it does different properties in rubbing compound. It's finer and it pulls the shine quicker. So you're seeing this this wing here, and it looks, rather flat. I want you to keep in mind when I go over it with this drill how it looked now. Start out slow or you'll fling this shit everywhere. I do have a car buffer too. Don't burn the paint. How you burn the paint is to stop moving the drill or the buffing pad. I think I'll just do this panel here and leave this panel in contrast so that you can see the difference. And And there is a striking difference. You know, how much work does the guy want to put in to his toys? But these are like artwork to me. I have an addictive personality, so back in the day I could build this I did an Aries in 11 days and won the concourse and the Spirit of 62 award with it. 11 days, start to finish. It flew all right. It had a PA-40 ultralight in it, which is too heavy for an Aries. It should have had a Fox 35. We're going to see if we can get a contrast in shine. Now, I've been doing this 50-some years, so it looks easy, as Steve Hines says. And it is easy, but it does take practice. Don't push on this either. Let the pad do the work. Okay, let's see what it looks like. And when you wipe it off, you'll be able to see if you missed any spots. I see a spot right there, which I don't know what that is. Can we see the contrast in this? Probably not. Not really. Maybe I'm just not going to get across in video what I'm trying to get across. Any of you guys ever see my airplanes in person know that they got a hell of a shine on them. The next product I use, and I like it, and it brings up the shine, is Express Shine by Turtle Wax Carnauba. Shoot it on. So you're not putting any thick, waxy crap on there. It's kind of a cleaner. Cleans off the compound. That's good for the first pass. Well, like I say, without the videos, this will take me 100 hours to polish one of these out. And you'd say, oh, no way. Okay. I'm hoping it flies really good. I might even fly this in open. because the combination of the OS-32F and a classic airplane really brings it up to modern standards. Let's see here. I'm going to have to use my scanner and scan my photos from my 1988 ship, the Sorcerer, which was this engine on a pipe, less nearing pipe, about the same size airplane. Ron O'Toole said I needed to get away from the lumber wagons, but because everybody was flying the lumber wagons, the big airplanes, I decided I had to be like everybody else. And now, 20 years later, I decided I don't want to be like everybody else. I'm going to go back to the old stuff. I can see the difference already. See, I didn't sand this flat. No matter how much you rub, well, that's not true. You could rub it. It would take a long time to rub out the orange peel. There's orange peel in this, and could I rub that out? Yeah, probably. But it would take a while. So we'll sand it out and polish it up. See, what you're trying, like I said, what you're trying to do is you're trying to level out all the surfaces so that it has a mirror finish. So let's sand that out and polish it up. And it's not a lot of work to do. Just takes some time. I lost my sponge. It makes the airplane feel solid too, where everything is, it feels like plastic. The whole airplane. I cannot find my sponge. Lost it. What the hell did I do with it? Oh well, I'll sand it open-handed, I guess. I don't recommend doing this either, but we'll do it. I just want to get it flattened out. These are, what I'm doing here is some of the, oh, there's my sponge. Do as I say, not as I do. I'm sure you guys, some of you guys that are old enough to remember your folks saying that. So back in the sponge, and the sponge helps hold liquid, so that's good. Got much better video quality now, instead of 1 meg up. Okay. Now they make a rubber squeegee too that you can use to squeegee off the water. I just dry it off. This thing will be beautiful. Okay, let's give her a rip on the polishing. And I've said this before. This won't be the only time I do this. Because this paint is green. If I want to wait 6 months to do this, you could do it once. But I can't take an airplane out to the field that's not polished. Just against my nature. Hopefully we're going to get some flying weather here and we'll get to test this baby out. And I'll get some video of that test flight pattern. First flight. Should be able to do the pattern in the first flight or hanging on the wall. I think I'm gonna have to have that carbon spinner in the nose though, because it's extremely nose heavy still. Might have to have Kaz make me a $100 carbon tank, get rid of that clunk tank. I think I'll look for that after this video. I don't know how you guys can do it. Watch me do this for hours. It's starting to get a good shine now. Might have to resand that. Now you say, well, the shine won't come up. Well, I'm gonna have to sand in order to make the shine come up. There's a spot right here that's kind of dull. Well, how do you get it to shine? You sand it. Simple as that. So with a little effort, got the inboard side done. I was doing that while I were playing with the internet and I was off. And now, or the outboard, now we got the inboard first go around done. And don't worry about if you sand off a line or whatever, because you can always put the line back on, come back with an airbrush and spot in the clear, and then sand and polish that spot out. Thank you very much, Scott, for the super chat. We certainly appreciate it. I hope that these techniques and tips I give make people better modelers. You know, to be honest with you, since I started doing these videos, I don't know if it's me or whatever, but I've seen a substantial increase in the quality of airplanes. My dad, I've told this before too, my dad flew speed in the 40s, and his airplanes would be hand-rubbed black lacquer, and they would look like a jewel. And he would say, "Robert, it has to be perfect." And he would sand and polish until they were perfect. They looked like plastic. Tom Warden was the same way. He was a perfectionist. So, even though we can achieve perfect, you know, accept nothing less than perfection. Try to get it as close to perfect as you can. You know, I said that I got a spot here that won't come up. It's rather dull. If you listen, you can hear it. So let's sand it and see if it'll come up. If I can find my sponge again. Keep dropping that stupid thing. Here it is. Okay, there's nothing I can do about the paper and the clear. The reason why we're getting these loaded up spaces here is because the clear is green, meaning it's not really dry. When it's really dry, these paint clods will not be on the sandpaper. Don't keep using this. Throw it away. Get another one, because all you're doing is you're grinding grooves into the finish. So we'll get another one. Clean. You can figure that a competition model in materials only, now this includes sandpaper for sanding everything, the paint and the thinner, is going to run you upwards of $300. Unless you're Tom Creasy, then you can do a whole paint job for $3.98. Which I have some paint, and I'll be doing that. I'll be painting my cockpit with the Tom Creasy finishing system, which is this stuff here. I'm going to do my cockpit with this stuff. Not really worried about it being fuel proof, because there ain't no fuel back there. There better not be. Okay. Yep, almost got it. And when you look at this, you candle it, you can see the shiny spots. If you got shiny spots, it ain't smooth. What the heck we got going on here? I heard a de-dink. This is solid wood, so you can bear down on it to try to flatten it out quickly. Do not do that on the silk fan. You'll poke right through it. But you can do it on flaps, elevator stabilizer, rudder, fuselage, nose, etc. Wheel pants. It's not on the open base. Okay. I think I better cut my fingernails. My fingernails are short, but I think I need to cut them because I heard my fingernail kind of catch a little. We don't want to have to do any putting at this stage. Now this is really cheating. But at this time in my life, cheating's not out of the question. Be enough hand rubbing on this thing to begin with. As soon as this is done, we're on to the Ringmaster 576. And then there's going to be a video on repairing my Junar XL to bring it back to contest readiness. Because it's kind of long in the tooth. It's from 07. So we'll try to doctor the paint job up on that. And I wish you were here to see the difference in that. From where I sanded it and where I didn't. And I'll try to show it, but I don't think it'll show. I'll try to get some different lighting going. I think maybe if I get the camera close and try to bounce the light, you might be able to see. Turn this light on and see what happens. Oh. You can see the glistening here. That's the light reflection. And the let's see if you can see it in here. That's the only way you're gonna get a finish like this where it looks like Monocoat. I've had people say, "Mister, where'd you buy that Monocoat?" Man, that's colored Monocoat. That looks really good. A lot of guys get offended. I take I take it as a compliment. Anyway, I hope this brings you a little insight of how I get the airplanes looking the way they do. I pretty much took you through the whole finishing process, except for I couldn't show you me spraying like I do at home, because the connectivity in John's garage is next to nothing. Need to order another cable so I can move this camera from another angle. Any questions? Let's see, we've been on 47 minutes. We'll run an hour, and then I'll kill it. And I do apologize for the 3 false starts previously. There's nothing I can do about the internet yet. The more you rub it, the smoother and shinier it'll get. I'm trying to get it so you can it'll catch the light, but I just don't see how to. Now you can kind of see it there. Now these decals were printed on a printer I bought at Walmart. It's an Epson inkjet. I got the artwork off the internet and did that decal. Everything else is painted. I got 6 decals on it. Tommy Looper's name, which I had to hand fix. If you guys saw the video yesterday. And it looks good. It looks perfect. You'll never be able to tell. And then the decal, which is also hand inked around there. And then a Italian flag on the back. Those are the 6 decals on the airplane. 3 on each side. Everything else is painted, plotted, and painted. And that's what I suggest you do. Now, if you don't have a plotter, the old way of doing things was shelf paper. And you draw out your stencil on a piece of 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper, tape the sheet of paper over the shelf paper, and cut through the shelf paper to make a stencil. And you take the shelf paper off and stick it on exactly as I would do a low-tack vinyl transfer. Or you can tape it off with blue fine line tape and green fine line, so on and so forth, which was the old way of doing things, and it works, and it works as good as what we're using today. However, it just takes a whole lot of time. So if we got any questions, I think that's about all I got for today. You can see the shine picking up pretty good on it though. And like I say, this is the first time. There'll be 3 or 4 more of these times going over this exact same process. Only the next process, it gets sanded with 5,000 grit sandpaper, where I will bone it out, where the whole thing will turn milky white, and then polish it again. And that really helps the shine pop. So I've got 2 wing panels done, the forward half of the fuselage done. When I cut the camera, I'll turn the airplane I'll sit on the couch and do the elevator stabilizer fin rudder fuselage from the trailing edge back. Then we'll flip it over and do the bottom. And then take the wheel pants off and do the wheel pants. So the first sand out will probably have taken 10 hours. And then I'll go back. There's a couple spots that I'll fix where I went through the ink lines. I'll fix those ink lines, put on some clear in the fixing spots, and then sand it all out again with 2000 and polish it. And then with 5,000 and I might go over it with triple aught or quadruple aught steel wool, and then polish it again. I mean, this will be an ongoing thing all the way up until the Nationals to get this airplane polished. And you really can't polish it from here because tomorrow this thing will be dull. But the sanding's done. So anyway, thanks for bearing with me through the thick and thin of the internet debacle. I think I'm going to cut the stream, and Rusty will be with you tomorrow night. I'll be back on Saturday, maybe Sunday, and we'll just keep cranking out the videos, hoping that that you guys get better at doing what I love to do. I thoroughly love the sanding and the building. Flying requires a lot of effort. To me, I got to go out to the field. But this year, I'm going to try to make a better showing. I say that every year. We'll see what happens. You know, if it's rainy and crappy, I'm too old to go out in the cold and rain, and just can't do it. Alright guys, thanks for watching. Thank you, Scott, for the super chat. Make sure you like, subscribe, share the videos. You can find us on stunhanger.com/SMF. And until I see you again, fair winds, tight lines. Keep building. See ya.